Salisbury Plain, a unique landscape of 94,000 acres that is home to beautiful wildlife, rare plants, and some of the most important archaeological sites in the whole of Europe. It's also the British Army's main training area, and the only place where the armoured manoeuvre exercises that are essential to our training for operations can be conducted. Salisbury Plain Training Area is the largest military training location in the UK, 45 kilometres wide and 18 deep. You would think that having tanks driving on it and artillery firing across it would be a threat, but its long-standing use for military training has prevented the land from being ploughed up, so it's now the largest remaining area of original chalk grassland in northwest Europe. So Salisbury Plain is now designated under international law as a special protection area containing many individual sites of special scientific interest, or SSSIs, that identify the locations of rare plants, animals and habitats that need protection. But what's underneath Salisbury Plain is every bit as interesting. People have lived, fought, worshipped and died on Salisbury Plain going back thousands of years, and they have left evidence of their lives in thousands of archaeological sites spread right across the plain, from Stonehenge, which the experts believe was built over 5,000 years ago when the whole of Salisbury Plain was a forest of towering pines and hazel woodland, to the remains of Roman settlements scattered across the plain. All these important historical sites need careful conservation. Conserving the environment and our heritage is not just left to chance. The British government has created a legal framework to protect these areas, and the Ministry of Defence is required to make sure it protects and manages Salisbury Plain properly. It does this through defence training estates, under a very strict set of rules about how the plain can be used to provide sustainable military training that respects the environment, protects the archaeology, and ensures the safety of the public. All soldiers coming to train here are required to be given a full brief on their use of the training area. This brief enables them to get the best from the plain, whilst avoiding making mistakes that could cost lives or cause unnecessary damage to the environment. Let's take a closer look at the main features of Salisbury Plain. The military training areas are highlighted. Here is the main public road system that runs through it. There's also a network of stone tracks. Public access is allowed in the blue areas and the marked routes all the time, but access is controlled or prohibited in the red areas. These are the small arms range danger areas at Warminster and Bulford. The main impact areas 15 and 16 are out of bounds at all times. Areas 1 to 4 are occasionally used for live firing exercises, and details about this are announced in advance, and red flags are flown when in use. The MOD has powers under local bylaws, and where these apply is clearly signed. These bylaws give the MOD a range of legal powers to control access and manage activities taking place in the training areas. A system of warning flags is used to indicate when firing is taking place, which is explained on the bylaw notices. But there are also manned checkpoints known as vedette posts to prevent unauthorised access to areas when they are not safe for the public to use. The bylaws allow civilian access in all blue areas and in some red areas when the flags are not flying. There is no civilian access in the western red areas at any time. It's quite possible in the centre, when the flags are down, and in the eastern part of the plain, to find troops on exercise at the same time as families enjoying a day out. Artillery firing can also take place in these public access areas, and it's necessary to stay at least 400 metres away at all times to protect against blast, debris and hearing damage. The safety of everyone is the overriding objective in managing military training, but it's vital that the public also behave sensibly too. The driver of this vehicle decided it would be fun to drive through a major exercise, but the armoured vehicle drivers have very limited visibility and could easily have damaged or run over his car. The lesson is, keep well away from military vehicles, keep to the approved routes, and obey the bylaws and warning flags. Another important safety issue is unexploded shells and other munitions. Areas which allow public access are checked, but there's always a risk that anyone may come across an unexploded shell, mine, or bomb that could still go off. So, if you do find something, don't touch it And please notify the nearest military control point about what you found, so it can be checked and cleared. Mother Nature also provides some health risks. Animal ticks are common on the plain, and they can carry Lyme disease, which can infect humans and can be fatal, so keep your legs covered. If the tick bite displays a bullseye rash, seek medical attention immediately. The wild parsnip and hogweed can also cause rashes, so avoid coming into contact with these plants. Sunlight makes the plant juices react, so cover immediately and seek medical attention. Virtually all serious injuries and deaths that happen on Salisbury Plain are caused by vehicles being driven too fast or in an inappropriate manner for the terrain and weather conditions. The maximum speed on all roads and stone tracks in the training area is 30 miles per hour. However, weather and surface conditions may mean that you will have to reduce your speed accordingly. Civilian vehicles are not allowed to go off-road and must stay on the designated byways or permissive tracks. There are many steep slopes, deep trenches, tank obstacles and other excavations which have led to fatal accidents in the past. Areas where vehicles are prohibited are marked by white top posts that are placed around out-of-bounds areas like archaeological sites and to highlight hidden hazards like ditches and culverts on the edges of tracks and roads. All military vehicles must use tank crossings to cross public roads. There are 44 of these crossings, and all tracked and wheeled convoys of 3 or more vehicles deploy a tank crossing party to negotiate them safely. These tank crossings are clearly marked using yellow-topped posts and warning signs. Troops operate a crossing drill, posting sentries around the crossing to warn of approaching civilian traffic. They wear suitable high-visibility vests and have torches at night. If you approach a crossing with a tank already on it, they may warn you of the danger. A tank weighs up to 70 tons and usually crosses quite slowly to avoid damaging the road surface, so cannot get out of the way to avoid road traffic. Unfortunately, some people drive at such a speed that they cannot stop in time when there is a tank on the crossing, and there have been a number of serious accidents as a result. So please take notice of the tank crossing warning signs, slow down and ensure it is possible to stop safely. In a contest between a car and a main battle tank, the result is a foregone conclusion. The key safety points to remember are: keep to the permitted roads, tracks and authorized areas. Avoid military exercises. Never enter the impact areas. Obey the warning signs, flags and bylaws. Be aware of the driving risks. Keep to the speed limit. Don't go off-road. Tank crossings are dangerous. Slow down when approaching them and heed warnings from troops that armoured vehicles are on the crossing. Avoid objects that could be unexploded munitions and report them. Protect yourself from tick bites and seek medical attention if you are bitten. Watch out for hogweed and wild parsnip plants. Avoid contact and seek medical treatment if you are affected. You can get more information and details of when public access is available or restricted by visiting our website at www.defence-estates.mod.uk. The Ministry of Defence is committed to managing the Salisbury Plain training area in a way that balances the need for sustainable, safe military training while protecting the environment, the natural and farming habitats, and conserving our archaeological heritage for future generations.